All right, let's do this thing. This thing we call weeknights. Oh, ole! Last week I wasn't ready. This week I caught your cue. You know what I mean? Last week I was like, oh, what's that? What's that? What are you doing? What's going on there? Today I'm like, oh,
I don't know. I don't know if that's appropriate, but
ole.
yeah.
I mean, you're our Telemundo respondent, so.
No, TCS 41.
Oh, set tripping.
A little
So I
bit.
play for the other side now. Sorry.
Whoever's paying more.
That's, exactly. That's what Dave Chappelle said. Dave Chappelle said, people ask me all the time, which one is better, Pepsi or Coke? I've been contracted with both, and so my answer is always the same. Whichever one is currently paying me.
Right.
All right. Just want to see something. Say something?
Something.
Oh, yep. I found out how to raise my volume finally. Yeah. I knew it was a different setting. Yeah, I'm going to hear everything now. No more, huh? What'd you say? Yeah. I was ready. All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Weeknights. 5 nights a week. We come here and we do the thing. Cinco noches.
I was not expecting that.
That's right, Telemundo. I got your back. Yeah, I mean, Noticias 41. Here we are.
Yeah.
Now, I have someone with me today, a co-host, an energetic, lovely, intelligent co-host who goes by the name of
Bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos. That's her name, folks. Bienvenidos. I'll be referring to her as Bienvenidos the rest of the pod.
I said it wrong too.
Oh,
Mixed
shit.
up my vowels.
Oh, shit.
I'll get it on the next one.
We believe you.
My name is Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the King of R&B, and apparently I'm also
Bienvenidos.
apparently I am also a news anchor for a Spanish television station.
And if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, go back a couple episodes and you'll find it.
Exactly.
Yes. Now,
Tonight
oh
on
yeah. Who am
Telemundo.
I? Wait a minute. I didn't introduce myself.
Sorry.
I have a habit of doing that. It's not you. It's me. I'm the problem, according to Taylor Swift. I
What?
saw that face.
Uh-huh.
He said, well, I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Now, let's talk about some topics. Can we start with Jeezy?
So tonight on Telemundo.
Esta noches.
Oh, a work in progress. Okay, I gotta do it little bit by little bit. I
I
can't
was trying to help you out. I wasn't
bust
dissing
out
you.
the sentences, you know.
Yep.
So yes, let's talk about Jeezy.
All right. So for those who don't know, Jeezy, Jizzle, he did this thing called Tiny Desk. And if you don't know what Tiny Desk is, you should probably leave this and go look it up. But we know Tiny Desk has taken the world by storm, especially after all the stuff they did last year. And they were already popular before that. And my co-host loves Tiny Desk. And so we watch Tiny Desk, especially when it's an artist that we love in the culture or that we're fans of. And so we watched Jeezy separately and haven't spoken since. And I am excited to see, first, what do you think about Jeezy's Tiny Desk, co-host?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. So I like vibey hip hop.
Okay.
I like to hear the string instruments
Yes.
behind the lyrics. You know, I love to kind of slowly let that slow climb to the hook. I love all of that. I love music that I don't know what that's called, but I love when music kind of builds up a momentum. It's kind of slow and it's soft, and again, you're hearing the strings and you hear the bass, you hear the violin. You know, I'm I'm a Rick Ross fan. I think that's probably the easiest way to describe how I
Absolutely.
like my hip hop.
Right.
So,
Justice League. Justice League.
yeah. So I enjoyed this because I felt like it was Jeezy, and I love Jeezy, but also I loved the fact that he had the band with him. He had the string instruments going. It was I love that, and I thought it was a nice take on some of his music.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and I was really excited when I saw that Jeezy was going to be on because, again, I mean, you know, my college years realized. So why not? You know, I feel like, you know, certain artists always make you feel a little nostalgic, and I feel like Jeezy is one of those for me. So, you know,
Got you. Continue.
I mean,
Or were you done?
I was done.
Oh, sorry. Just fixing the setting here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. I too loved that the band was there killing it.
Uh huh.
I too loved that we got to hear this nostalgic music from Jeezy.
Mm-hmm.
I even loved his book being in the background. I
I
don't know
didn't
if you
peep the
peeped
book.
that.
I did not peep the book in the background.
His now number one best-selling book was like right behind him on a shelf.
He
They made
did
sure
mention.
to Yep, and they made sure to zoom to keep it in view quite a few times. And I love the marketing, the branding of all the bandmates wearing the snowman on
So
their
man,
shirts.
yes, I love that
All of
too.
that was dope, and the band was killing it.
They were killing it.
I
Yeah.
will say it again, Dr. Umar style. The band was killing it.
Can I ask you a question before you continue? Why
Yes,
why does this feel like you're leading with love?
because I'm leading with love.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I'm telling you the things I liked
No, I
before
know
I
you're
tell
telling
you
me
the
things.
things I did not like.
I could tell that it's coming. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but
We'll see. If
no.
you knew the negative was coming, put it in the comments. Special shout outs to our favorite commenters, White Chris and Julio.
Yes. They
I'm
they
sure they will let us know if they could smell it coming.
they're keeping us afloat.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let us know if you saw my negative comments just around the river bend, as Pocahontas would say.
Because I saw it.
Hey, someone who I'm a huge fan of said their therapist taught them that you lead with love. And so occasionally I like to borrow that.
I heard
Occasionally.
that. I won't say who that person is, but I also know who that person is. And whenever I've heard that person talk about their therapist, I'm a little concerned.
They also pick and choose when they follow that. And
Exactly.
I was
That's
about to say the same thing. I was about to say that's why I said I sometimes borrow it because other times I am happy to lead with my hateration, as Mary J. Blige once said.
and don't forget the holleration.
And don't forget the holleration because I'm a loud mother. Shut your mouth.
So let us know what happened in the dancery for you that wasn't.
I was waiting for Jeezy to show up the whole time. I'm like, but where's Jeezy? Where's Jeezy and his big personality? Where's Jeezy and the flavorful vocals? Where's Jeezy? I kept wait. I just knew it was coming. I say, all right, he's warming up. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. It's gonna come. We're gonna see at some point the big bold Jeezy, and it never came. This was like a poetry reading. We never saw the flavor of the Usher Tiny Desk, for example. This was very little personality from Jeezy. This was very little charisma and emphasis from Jeezy. This performance was like, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
I didn't get that vibe.
And I'm glad we disagree. When I was watching it, I said, man, I hope that one of us loves this because I don't. I was very disappointed with this performance because it didn't feel like a performance. Also, why don't you know any of your words? Did you not rehearse? I'm confused. First of all you gave us was stuff from like your first album. Okay, fine. That's weird, but I'm not mad at it. Okay, cool. Most of the songs were very, very early Jeezy songs. That's weird. I don't know why you ain't hit him with the greatest hits. You got tons of hits. But if that's what you choose to do, hey, that is your right as an American citizen. That is your right as an artist. No problem.
I want
Weird.
Soul Survivor.
He didn't do a lot of his shit. I kept waiting. I was like, oh man. And it seemed like, maybe it's me, but it seemed like just when he got going, he said, thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate y'all having me here. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Well,
Is
Tiny
this,
Desk is
is
only supposed
this?
to be a handful of songs.
I know, but I'm saying when it finally felt like Jeezy's warming up, we about to get all the things I'm complaining about, the motherfucker said, hey, thanks for having me, y'all. This was real special. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't special. You kept trying to get the crowd to sing your songs. This is not a sold out arena. This is Tiny Desk.
And you know how I feel about that.
I know. That's what I was waiting for you to come up here and say. I said, man,
I let
she's
him
gonna
slide.
roast him when it comes because I know you don't like that. But that's what he kept doing. He kept trying to do the crowd participation thing, and it wasn't really working.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I read a comment in the YouTube comments that said for Tiny Desk they need to get people who are more connected to the artist, like people who are
Sure,
bigger fans. But
I
I
can I
don't
can
think
agree with that.
sure, but I don't think people understand how Tiny Desk works.
No,
It's
I don't
not
think so either.
it's not something that's open to any and everybody.
Nah, it's supposed to be
Um,
NPR staff.
it's NPR staff, and it sounds from what he was saying, it sounded like there were also Howard University students
Yes.
there, but also Jeezy probably sounds a lot different to the Howard University students of today than he did to the Howard University
Yes, he kept
students
saying the one
of
lady
Chicago.
was the only person really giving him the energy.
Right.
Again, this is not your sold out Atlanta arena. This is Tiny Desk.
No. So I think as far as the audience goes, I think I think you gotta give him a little. I mean, the audience participation thing is always annoying to me, and I feel like okay, do it once and move on. Please don't make your whole show that.
And he
But
did.
but what I will say is that in terms of knocking the audience and saying that it wasn't the right audience for him, I think that's a moot point when you're talking about
Tiny
NPR Tiny
Desk.
Desk because it just that's not the way this
Yeah, it's not what they
particular
do.
group
They're not
works.
raffling
Yeah,
off tickets to the
no.
fans. It's their staff and it's a treat for their staff.
Right. And you can always tell when their staff is like really excited about somebody.
Right.
They do sing along. You
Yep.
can hear them in the background. But there's also been performances where you don't even realize that they're there.
Many.
So this one was kind of awkward because I feel like he was trying to involve them, and I think maybe it would have been better if he just kind of left them out of it. If they wanted to sing along or whatever to the songs they knew, they could have. But I think trying to involve that type of group can backfire on you, and I think it did a little bit backfire on.
I think it did a lot.
Yeah.
I think this performance was really weird. It was low energy, and it seemed like he didn't rehearse because it seemed like he ain't know most of the words.
I thought it was low and see the way I took it was that it was low energy on purpose. Like he
Okay,
wasn't really trying to turn up. He was trying to
okay,
keep it mellow.
okay.
I,
And to me, that's a bad thing.
and that's fine. I'm just
You're saying it seemed intentional. I got you. I'm not. I don't disagree. To me, that was part of the problem. You gave us old songs, super old. You didn't give us the hits. You didn't have energy. You didn't know your words, and you kept trying to rely on the audience. Nah, I did not like this. I was really disappointed, and I was really excited to watch this performance. I usually am not excited about Tiny Desk. And I'm gonna say something even crazier. Clip this up, because as much as the internet loved Juvenile's Tiny Desk,
I,
I thought that shit was trash.
I
And
know.
I think it was better than this one. At least we got Juvenile excited and smiling and energetic. And sure, he did back that ass up technically 2.5 times. But at least he enjoyed himself and had an excitement to him and an energy to him. This was like, I'm just going to go to a poetry reading and read some poems that the crowd may or may not know while I pat myself on the back and ask you to buy my new book.
So you prefer, girl, you're working with some ass, yes, some ass, yes.
Yeah. I preferred that 2.5 times instead of Jeezy saying, let's do the hook again. And he don't even say the hook. No, I didn't like that. Let's do the hook one more time. I feel like that was actually, he didn't say I didn't like it. He said, I did like that. Yeah, I like that. Let's do the hook one more time. And nobody's doing the hook. So what are we running back the hook for? Just to hear it? Then Jeezy, you could have just left and we could have just saw the band play all your greatest hits with their snowman shirts. That probably would have been way more entertaining than this.
Yeah.
I am very disappointed. I know I probably sound angry, but I'm really sad because I really thought Jeezy was gonna go up there and kill it. Jeezy has a truckload of hits. Jeezy has a lot of different sounds. He has a wide range. There's some artists who have a very specific sound. You know that's what you're gonna get most of when they do a performance. Jeezy has a wide range of sounds, a long list of hits, and he could have done a lot of things. I am very disappointed because not only did we not get the hits, we didn't get the energy, we didn't get the words.
I mean, those are not the songs that I expected him to do. I just wasn't mad at it. I was just kind of like, okay, vibes. And I like the vibes. But I do
Got
understand what you're saying. Yes, his energy was a lot lower than it normally is.
even when he said, Jeezy, can I get an ad lib? He didn't even do, yeah.
Which is like, the
That's
signature.
his signature thing.
Yeah, it is.
He didn't even do that. He said, Jeezy, can I get an ad lib? And looked at the crowd.
Well, I think expecting more from the crowd was a misstep. And I think maybe that might not be the whole thing, but maybe that impacted the performance overall, because and maybe in his mind he was thinking, okay, this is going to be a small intimate group, and I can engage them, because you probably feel more inclined to engage a smaller group than you do like a big stadium, because they're you can barely see the people out there. It's just like a sea of people. Whereas when it's a smaller group, you can look at them in the face and you can see who's engaging and see who's interacting with your music. And maybe it was a missed assumption that people would be more into what he was doing. Also, if you're gonna do the crowd participation thing, which I hate, but if you're gonna do the crowd participation thing, then you probably should do your more common hit.
Hello.
You should
Right.
probably do the songs that people are gonna sing along to or rap along to. Um, yeah. So I can understand what you're saying. I guess for me, I like to see artists kind of step out of their element a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. And I felt like he was kind of doing that with this. So for me, it was okay, and I liked seeing him perform in that way and more intimate venue. And like I said, I loved hearing the strings right there in the room with him and having the band and all of that. But I do understand why you think it was a subpar performance, and you make some valid points.
Thank you.
Um,
I try not to just be a hater.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. And again, the crowd participation thing, I didn't bring it up because I was just like, okay. ignore it.
I couldn't. I couldn't ignore it.
But but yes, that is a pet peeve for me. I just feel like I didn't come here to give you a concert.
Right.
I'm here for you to give me one.
Right.
So yeah. But I'm sorry you didn't have a better experience.
Me too. I was like, man, I could have watched something else while I ate my lovely meal.
Yeah.
You know, I went and got a lovely meal. It's in preparation for this. I said, oh, I'm gonna get me a nice meal from my local diner and sit here and really enjoy Jeezy. And I feel like, man, I could have watched something else. I should have put Emergency Awesome on or something. I don't know.
Anything. Old episode of Hardly Minding My Business. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could have watched some Hardly. You know what I mean? And heard the latest about the Shameless. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So yeah, I mean, who would you like to see do a tiny desk that hasn't done one yet?
No one. I think Tiny Desk is overrated.
I know you don't care for tiny desk. I just okay. We can move on.
Listen, it's popular. You like it, and there's been what they have done is an amazing job of getting people from the culture to come up there and perform. The Scarface one was great. The Scarface one, we weren't potting when it came out, but the Scarface one was awesome. Scarface did a lot of stuff, and it's one of the longer ones if you really know like the time lengths and stuff. The Usher one, we all know how viral it is. You've watched it a ton of times. Some of them are cool, but I'm not really a fan of the Tiny Desk thing.
I wonder how long it's been on YouTube because I was reading that Tiny Desk is 15 years old. Curious how long it's been. The performances have been available, but I don't know.
My watch told me it's dying. Sorry, I didn't know what was going on.
No, it's okay.
I was like, "Why's my watch buzzing? It's not alarm time yet."
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's a good question. I don't know how long, but we know they've had a huge resurgence since COVID, and they've done a great job of even the home series of them reaching out to artists. I mean, Thames and Rick Ross and others. They did a great job. It's just not for me. I'm not saying Tiny Desk is whack. I'm just saying most of the time, the ones I've seen, I haven't really. They're cool, but they're not spectacular to me. It's always cool to see artists you like performing. I got no issues with that. And I appreciate that they yawn on camera. Ha ha, you this time, not me.
Yeah, you're right. It was me. I've
Yeah,
taken
it's
it
all right.
back.
The last couple episodes, I've been yawning the whole time. You're making valid points, and I'm like, I appreciate, right. I appreciate that Tiny Desk has done such a phenomenal job in reaching out to these artists and curating these things. It's just, it's not spectacular to me. Most of them. And you can tell which artists really want to do it and really want to make a mark. And you can tell which artists are like, oh, yeah, right, management said I should do this, so I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I've been impressed by very few.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because of the artists that are there and their approach to the Tiny Desk performance. Listen, I love live music. It's not that I don't. I love live music. So hearing a band play hip hop and R&B, I love that. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like you got the artists there in this tiny ass space. They can't do any of the stuff they really do to give us the energy of a performance. This is more like performing in a lounge than performing in a venue for the type of music they make. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's like, it's weird.
Yeah. No, I
So
understand.
I am in no way saying Tiny Desk sucks or shouldn't exist. Tiny Desk is awesome. Listen, I do music. I would be honored if Tiny Desk reached out to me and said, "Hey, come do a Tiny Desk." I mean, they get no views because I'm a nobody, but yeah, they're gonna get a live band together, and I'm gonna perform with the live band. Oh, that sounds like super hot fire. But it's just not something that I feel is spectacular. I think a big part of performing is energy. And at Tiny Desk, the artists often have to bring down their energy. That's part of why Usher was so fly, because Usher is one of the people who went up there and was like, I don't care if I can't move at all. I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna bring up the energy, I'm gonna make jokes. and it was awesome.
It was great. It was great.
But that's not the norm, and
Right.
that's the difference.
I'm trying to remember who else I mentioned before. It wasn't just Usher, but it was around the time that Usher did it. I can't remember. It was an R&B singer, and I remember talking about the fact that they came and they engaged the audience,
Was it
and
Babyface?
I don't think it was Babyface, but it was around that time, and it was. I remember watching it and just thinking, "Wow, this person is really engaging," and um, getting the crowd involved, but not in a way that felt lazy. Um, and it was cool. I can't remember who it was, but I do think that's part of it, that you have to figure out how to engage other people. And the reality of the situation is, if the audience is controlled all the time, you're not gonna an artist is not gonna hit it out the park every single time, because it's just not set up that way.
Right.
It's not like a regular concert where I'm a huge fan of artist X, so I'm paying my money just like the 10,000 other people who are paying their money because they love artist X too, and we're all going to this concert, and now we're excited and we're bringing the energy that they need to feed off of.
Right.
This is a little bit different. This is a lot different from that. So
Yes.
so it does kind of create this weird blind spot that you never really know what you're going to get or what that's going to look like. And that's why I said sometimes it's quite all right when you don't hear anybody back there, and you're just focusing on the person performing and who they're performing with, and that's it. But yeah, no, I understand. I mean, it's not your cup of tea, and that's fine. You know. I appreciate you indulging me and still coming up here and talking about them sometimes.
I mean, no problem. I don't mind. Again, it's live music. I don't ever have a problem with that. And we both like Jeezy. It seemed very fitting, and it's a big part of the culture today, which they have done. Again,
Mm-hmm.
kudos to NPR and Tiny Desk, because they have inserted themselves and positioned themselves in a way to be a moment in the culture when someone goes up there now.
Yeah.
So it is appropriate for us to discuss, and we probably should discuss depending on who's up there. So I don't have an issue with it. It's not something that I feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I gotta watch this. Tear my eyes out. No, I don't feel that way. So I think they get props, but I also think it's just not really for me. It's not my jam.
All
Because
right.
even the ones I have loved, I watched them once and that was it. I'm not the guy who's gonna keep watching them over and over again, because it doesn't really move me the same way.
I keep watching Usher.
I know. And I don't blame you. You enjoy it, you should watch it. And everyone who enjoys Tiny Desk should watch it. I am in no way trying to destroy what they are building. I am in no way trying to stop what they are doing. I'm simply expressing my view as a podcaster.
That's
That's
fine.
all.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Um,
You know what else there's nothing wrong with? Changing your name.
I've never done that, but sure.
I'm sorry, are you not Dashing D? Is that your birth name?
Oh, that's true. I guess I have a stage name.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking more along the lines of like going to the courthouse and changing your name officially.
Oh. No, but I mean creating your stage name and not being known as what's on your birth certificate.
Exactly. Exactly the right
There's
way to say
nothing wrong with that. But
it. Hmm.
people seem to have a problem with the eldest of the Obama children doing it. Tell them what I'm talking about.
Malia Obama, as you may or may not know, is very much immersed in um, the TV and filmmaking world at this point. She writes, and she's written for Donald Glover. She's worked on. It seems like she's also working on her own personal projects. So she directed recently. Was it Sundance that it
Yeah, it's a short film.
came through that? She directed a short film called The Heart.
There you go. Look, I didn't
Um,
even need the specs. Good job, co host.
She directed a film called The Heart, a short called The Heart. And, you know, at Sundance, when her name popped up, rather than people seeing Malia Obama, people saw Malia Ann. And that is
Correct.
the name that she has chosen to use. That will be her directorial name. That will be her Hollywood name. That's that's the name that she wants to be called. And apparently, yeah, there are people who feel like um, there's a lot of people who feel a lot of different things. I read that people feel like, you know, she doesn't deserve to be where she is today
Right.
because they feel that nepotism got her there.
Right.
Um, there are people who feel like, well, what is she trying to do by changing her name? Um, the article I read by The Observer basically said it's not that she doesn't want to be associated with her name or her parents or anything like that, but she is trying to distance herself professionally because they have their things going on and they're involved in television and film as well at this
Right.
point. But they have their things going on and she's trying to set herself apart and
Right.
do her own thing,
Yep.
which for what is she, a 21-year-old or whatever it is?
Right.
Who doesn't want to separate themselves from their parents and try to make a stake in their independence at that stage of their life? So
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. In fact, I think that if this was someone else we were talking about, they would totally want to use mommy and daddy's name. And can I just say one thing about nepotism before we...
Oh, yes, please do. Because I'm going to say something about it as well.
I don't think there's anything wrong with nepotism. I think that rich white kids, since the beginning of time, this
Yeah.
is
Come
not
on now.
this is not to be disrespectful. This is just calling it what it is.
Come on now.
Rich white kids, since the beginning of time, have been profiting off of their parents' wealth, off of their parents' fame, off of their parents' notoriety, whether it's
Yes.
somebody that you just simply don't know, but they're rich as fuck.
Right.
They have been doing it since the beginning of time.
Yes.
Whether it's becoming the vice president at daddy's company,
Amen.
whether it's becoming an actor in a film because your parent is in the film industry, or they're
Preach.
a major actor or whatever. It could be anything.
Anything.
Nepotism exists
Everywhere. All at
everywhere.
once.
Right. Exactly. I think people get frustrated when they see that a black child or a child of color somehow benefited off of nepotism because it is not common.
Talk to him.
And so we watch these children grow up, kids like Northwest,
Oof. Yep.
Malia Obama, still waiting to see what Sasha's going to do. Right now, I think Sasha's still in college and she's having a good time. Good for her.
Right.
But I could name a bunch of kids. There's a whole show. I don't think it's on anymore. Growing Up Hip Hop.
Yep.
Where all the kids were trying to get put on by their parents
Yep.
shamelessly. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, what we like to talk about. We like to talk about when we talk about black people. We love to talk about generational wealth and how
That's a
we
hot
want to
topic.
build generational wealth for
Yep.
our kids. Why are we building generational wealth if they can't profit off of the things? Like, how do those things not exist at the same time? If I start a company, if Hardly Minding My Business Inc. exists and I have kids, yes, they will work there if that's what they want to do.
Right.
Yes, I will put them on payroll.
Right.
And yes, someday they will own the company.
Yeah.
I, if being Malia Obama means that she got to go to the front of the line in director school or whatever it is, if it means that, you know, mom and dad know Childish Gambino and they introduced me and now I'm writing for him because he was okay with it, you
Right.
don't want me to be mad because she got an opportunity that if she didn't get, maybe some white kid would have gotten, that probably would have gotten the opportunity anyway somewhere else.
Talk to him.
I'm sorry, but
Don't be sorry.
you're not gonna you're never gonna convince me. You're never gonna convince me that children of color should not be able to benefit off of the things that their parents do and the things that their parents create. I'm sorry, but no, no. That's my 2 cents. Change your name, girl, if you want to change your name. But you waited until you got to a place where you could change your name, and that's dope too.
Yep. I don't think there's anything wrong with changing your name or altering your name because it's not really a change,
Yeah,
but it's an alteration, sure, whatever.
probably her middle
Um,
name.
right. um, Lots of us do it. I've done it. If y'all know why I'm JD, then you know that I've done it as well. Um, and so, yeah, we do these things to separate ourselves, to stand out, to give ourselves our own sense of identity, and that's fine. On the flip side of that coin, yes, I'm going to use whatever relationships are available to help me in my journey in this industry, in any industry. If I find out, oh man, I got a cousin who they work as a vice president at a podcasting agency. Oh, best believe we calling cousin right now. What up, cuz? Yeah. Many industries are built on relationships, and there's an entire saying that says your network is your net worth. That's a saying. They're telling you that the people that you have access to are really what makes you excel in industries, in life. And so, yeah, it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. I'm going to take a different angle. I love everything you said. I was trying my best to cheerleader you on. But let's just say, forget, even if you said none of that, these things are going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no legal precedent that I know of that says this is illegal. And so it's going to happen. It happens all the time in many different formats, as my co host just killed it and said. But what you going to do? You going to hate on every person who does it? Nah. And so what? She's the Obamas. Yeah. The Obama family has a fuck ton of connections. They're going to use them, and they should. You should too. If you have connections at your fingertips, then you should use them.
Like literally connections in any industry possible because my dad was president.
Right. Well, and she also went to Columbia University, if I remember correctly. And
Of
so those relationships
course.
are tied to what she's doing now. But it
And
doesn't matter. It don't matter if she never went to college at all and woke up and was like, yo, I wrote some dope shit. Who could we give this to? Can you make some phone calls, mom and dad? And we're also assuming we don't know for certain that she got any of these gigs because of mom and dad. Perhaps she did not. Perhaps she met Donald Glover somewhere random and was like, yo, big fan. I wrote some shit. Let's talk. Maybe they smoked some weed and had a good time and was like, we going to connect. Save my number. And she emailed them and was like, here's the script I've been working on. What you think? We don't know. We're
we
assuming.
don't know.
And I say, so what? So what if she got it through nepotism? And so what if she didn't? What should matter is the quality of the product.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you know, I don't want to take away. I know you mentioned she went to Columbia and all of that. I don't want to take away from her talent, if she has talent, then that's great too.
Right.
But sometimes your talent is not the thing that gets you in the door.
Well, I agree with that, and I'm just saying that's what we should judge. Like, if she makes bomb ass movies, if she makes bomb ass shorts, if she writes bomb ass scripts, then that's what matters. Who
Right.
cares about the name change or the mom and dad? Like, when you go see Christopher Nolan, you don't ask yourself, man, how did Christopher Nolan get this deal to do Oppenheimer? You just worry about, is Oppenheimer a good movie? When you go see Tenet and feel like Tenet is weird, I don't think I like this one. Well, that's all you judge, not, hey, what made them give him the opportunity to do this film? You don't even think about that.
And there are times where the people who do have some sort of connection, they have to work harder, whether they're being told they have to work harder or just knowing that this is something that people will know and people will understand. Because I also think that when it comes to nepotism, I think the biggest issue that people have, I mean, other than it existing, is that um, when a connection isn't disclosed. Most places you have to disclose if you have a family member. Like if you apply for a job, you have to disclose that you have a family member who works there or whatever the case may be. But I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
I had like 5 different thoughts in my head,
It happens.
and
It's
I was
called
trying to
podcasting.
like connect all of the thoughts together, and
Try to
I,
create a multiverse.
yeah, and I failed.
It
Just
happens.
I will leave that to I will leave that to the team at
Marvel and
Marvel.
50.
Right. But yeah, I think that you you have to, what I was talking about is working hard and having the talent and having the wherewithal to do these things, even though you know that people may say, "Oh, you got this because your dad was president," and you probably don't even have. I'm sure she's met with enough people who are like, "Does this kid really have the chops?"
Right.
I'm sure she gets that more than enough. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where you're in the, I think it gets you in the door, but I don't think it keeps you around. I think it's very easy to push somebody out once you realize that they can't back up the thing that they said they could do. And
I can argue both
perhaps,
sides of that, but I understand what you're saying.
yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I see the,
you want to upset the Obamas?
I don't think everyone cares about that. That's my point. I don't think that everyone cares that they're going to upset the Obamas or not. I think that there are people who love them, but I also think that there are people who don't.
Got you.
So, and we don't know the spaces that she's walking into. We don't know that every space that she walks into is a safe space.
Got
Um,
you.
so I don't know. It made me think of when, as I'm saying this, who I was thinking of was John David Washington.
Mhm.
He uses his dad's last name, but he also, and I mean, he can't really hide that he's Denzel's son. He sounds like Denzel. He favors Denzel in the face. Like there's you if you met him, I've never met him, but I feel like if you meet him and you didn't know who he was, you would be like, you remind me of somebody. You know, he's that kind of guy. But I've read about his story a little bit, and he talks about how he's so afraid of people thinking that he's doing this because of his dad, when he's like, I just like doing this and I enjoy doing this and I think I'm actually good at it, so I'm like trying to work extra hard to not denounce my dad or not leave the name on the floor or whatever it is, but I still have so much to prove because I don't want to be known. I want to be known as John David Washington. I don't want to be known as Denzel Washington's son.
Right.
So I think that it's a complicated space to be in. I think it's a very privileged space to be in, and
Yes.
that's great. We don't all have that, but
Right.
I think it can be complicated too. So I don't know. Just my 2 cents or 3 cents or whatever it was. I
10
was 11
cents.
cents. Yeah, yeah. I dropped a dime on them.
You did. You did. And not in the snitch sense.
No, I don't
We
do that.
saved that for other people.
Loyalty over everything.
Oh, okay.
Not everything, but
That's why I said, oh, okay.
within reason. Because what I'm not doing is going to jail for you. But that's another conversation for another day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we're done with this day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is Weeknights. We will see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Bye.